our quest to teach you all about Bitcoin and blockchain. We're here in Seoul, Korea. It's been the blockchain week here. It's one of the main countries in the world for crypto and blockchain. Today we're back at the Bitcoin SV conference. And what really can be described as a battle for Bitcoin, this project is to be taken very seriously. So let's get down there, let's meet some of the key figures involved in this project, and hopefully we teach you a bit more about what Bitcoin BSV is all about.
Come with me, it's time we take a leap, journey into the open seas. Dream with me, the current pulls us deep, feel the breeze, it hums the sea.
Well, you nailed it, Jimmy. You nailed it. Good opening. So, I mean, today's sort of the tech head day.
It is the
so
tech head day. Yes.
Yeah. And then tomorrow's for the...
More business day. So today's speeches focus more on, as you're hearing now, as our speech is going on now, about the technical infrastructure, technical capabilities, meant more for developers who are, we think, the true army.
Where's your sort of primary focus on marketing and letting people know about what's happening? Is it the miners? Is it the developers, enterprises? Where are we at, sort of?
Well, they're each different audiences.
Yeah, very.
They're important for different reasons, and I think you have to take a comprehensive approach to communicating, informing, and marketing about Bitcoin SV to each of them. So to the miners, they're critical because they provide the hash power of the network. Developers we're absolutely reaching out to, although in a weird way, they're finding us.
Okay.
The pace of development for Bitcoin SV has escalated so rapidly. I think the word has spread across the developer community. So we're almost having to do less communication. That we're focused on training and developing training programs for them. Enterprises, institutional investors now. I've been spending a lot of time in New York and other finance capitals like San Francisco, talking to institutional investors. That's almost more. Consumer information is important, but we believe that enterprise use is going to be the road to success to get that first.
The average person learning about SV now, how far away from actually sort of using the blockchain or doing something on SV do you think it is for those type of people?
Sure.
That's what I'm kind of getting at.
Yeah.
They're saying to me, hey, should I buy SV? And I'm like, well, I kind of think, from an investment point of view, yes, but the reason I like it is ultimately, we're in content creation. We want to actually use a blockchain for something. How far away is this?
Well, I think the answer depends on to use it for what.
Yeah.
Because Bitcoin SV blockchain is usable for many different things. Let's start with the initial idea of payment usage, right?
Okay.
Where people think, okay, Bitcoin is a form of digital currency. I should be able to pay for things. The road to merchant usage is going to take longer, right? Because people need to have Bitcoin SV in order to spend it. And we're trying to solve that problem first, getting Bitcoin SV into the hands of users, and not in the traditional way the crypto world has done, which is expecting people to go onto an exchange, create an account, go through the whole onboarding process, and then buy it, and then spend it, which is a weird thing to do. We don't buy money to spend it. Right? And so we are really encouraging the BSV world, developers and projects that create different ways for users to get BSV, earn it, receive it, and then use it. And that's going to be actually, I think, the earlier way people use Bitcoin SV. There are projects to develop merchant uses and merchant payment systems so that you can pay at a coffee shop or restaurant with Bitcoin SV. We want that in the future. But some of the early things that are coming now that allow people to use it are Twitch, for example, social media application built on Bitcoin SV. So it's kind of like Twitter, but instead of it being free to create an account and tweet, you have to pay a little amount of BSV to every Twitch, every message, which is designed
you have to pay to troll people, basically.
Correct, and it is designed to deter anonymous accounts.
I just
it
signed up
encourages
for it the other
higher
day.
quality content, and then you earn money back, right? Because anytime someone likes or responds to your Twitch, you get a little bit of BSV back. And we're seeing more applications come on that allow people to either spend or use it, but more importantly, earn it. And that, I think, will get more Bitcoin into the ecosystem so that more people can start using it. And in some instances, without even knowing that it's Bitcoin. For example, with Uptime SV, you could market that to the world. That, yes, is Bitcoin, but it's really about earning money from your phone without having to do anything. I think that's the road to quicker success.
Awesome. Well, Jimmy, thank you very much for your time. It's the first morning of the conference. We'll let you go now.
Yeah, have a great time. We have a lot more to come.
Yeah.
CoinGeek after party. It's going to be amazeballs, as I like to say.
Yeah, well, we'll catch up with you again in the next couple of days, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers. We met up with Skyhook Capital at the conference. They're a Singaporean company making digital assets more accessible to institutional investors. Ultimately for us, we're trying to understand real-world use cases of blockchains, of Bitcoin. So it's with great interest that we sat down with Lawrence Grinseri, the CEO, to get his thoughts. So firstly, Lawrence, if you could tell us a bit about yourself and Skyhook.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Skyhook Capital is actually a second sort of major company I've sort of launched. First one was primarily focused in the wealth management space. So a lot of what I've been involved in is the distribution of financial products effectively electronically, so that wealth management organisations, private banks, asset management firms, family offices were able to use technology to be able to manage client portfolios and understand what clients and what type of investment products were suitable for clients, and then be able to transact those as if they were buying a lounge chair off Amazon or whatever. You just point, click, get a price, and then execute a trade. And that technology now has proliferated. I started that business back in 2005. That technology is now widely used. Our platform alone would have done about $1.5 trillion of financial products through a number of tier one banks that are part of that client base. Skyhook Capital is now focusing what I see as the next major evolution, which is, now that you've got electronic distribution channels, how do you put financial products onto a common protocol so that you're able to easily exchange those products and distribute them? And the blockchain is perfect for this. So I really think we're coming into a whole new era in terms of not only efficiency but mobility of assets. And it's quite an exciting time in my particular sector. Why I'm here is now to look at, well, what's the best blockchain technology that would suit our requirements? Obviously, we're looking for a blockchain that's going to be one that would be acceptable by who are our users, the financial services industry, big banks, asset management firms. And also we want to really make sure that we make the right decision, because not only is it going to either facilitate or impede our ability to capture clients, I think also long term, you need to evolve and you need to continue to roll out new products and services. And the right blockchain is going to have a lot to do with that.
How do you go about assessing a potential blockchain? And are you looking at both permissioned or private and public blockchains?
Well, I mean, we're part of our evaluation is that we look at both what's going on in the private blockchain, and obviously we look at what the industry is used to right now. But by the same token, we don't want to be lemons just following everyone potentially off the side of a cliff. So we also look at, well, where do we believe that the industry is moving towards? If I was to give you an example with cloud solutions, in the early days, banks would only use private cloud networks. Today, basically, they're all using public. Obviously, better economies of scale, the technology, and they became more comfortable with the security. In our particular case, we're evaluating, obviously security is a major concern. The adherence to support the compliancy requirements. Transaction speed is obviously crucial. Scalability is a must. And these are all factors that come into play. The ability for the client to be able to permission their data, control it, is very important in financial services. And also the security around the management of the wallet. So each organisation would have a master wallet, and within that you'd find that they would then break that down in individual client accounts. So there's quite a bit to take in there.
Yep. So what have you thought of Bitcoin SV?
Well, I mean, we came to, we just didn't jump on a plane just to see, kick the tyres. We'd already done quite a bit of evaluation with BSV. They had numerous discussions with, one of their main development organisations, which is Enchain. And actually, I'm on the way to London, and part of that visit is actually to sit down with nChain. What we've discovered, I've continued to be impressed with BSV. It certainly is on the right track with regards to how they're dealing with transaction performance. I agree with their approach about building larger blocks and being able to mine those blocks. I like the way that they've got their economics worked out with the mining. I also like, they've got this split key security with regards to how they manage wallets that doesn't require, for example, hardware devices needing to be utilised. So there's a lot in it that is of particularly high interest for us.
Thanks, Lawrence. In the next clip, we'll meet the Skyhook team again and get some more thoughts on their use of blockchain and their assessment of BSV. Next up, here's some thoughts from Calvin Eyre. He's a very key player within CoinGeek and the BSV camp in general.
If it doesn't scale, you're not going to get microtransactions and you're not going to be able to create unique business models. So because the only platform that has actually solved the scaling problem is the original Bitcoin design, which is now Bitcoin SV, the momentum is really picking up, and we're seeing it online, and we're seeing it at conferences like this, and we're just sort of seeing it in the general level of interest from all people in the technical community, because they get it. BTC and BSV, which have diverged to separate business models, they can coexist because they actually don't compete with each other at all anymore. The store of value digital gold model and the microtransaction peer-to-peer cash model. So, I think the technology war is over.
We hope you enjoyed part one of our coverage of the CoinGeek conference. In part two, we'll meet some of the other key figures involved in the project and dig a little bit deeper to explain where in fact BSV came from. We also check out the CoinGeek after party and see what the CoinGeeks are like when they let their hair down. That's all coming up in part two, so make sure you subscribe. See you next time.